There are moments in life when it feels like we just can't go on anymore. Failure, exhaustion, and frustration weigh heavily on our hearts. It's during these times that we need a guiding light, a philosophy that gives us strength from within and helps us rise again. Stoic philosophy, though ancient, offers timeless wisdom that remains just as relevant today. It teaches us how to remain calm, focused, and resilient even in the face of life's toughest challenges. Great Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus left behind powerful lessons that continue to guide and inspire millions. In this video, we'll explore 7 powerful Stoic lessons that can help you stay strong and grounded, especially when you feel like giving up. So, stay with us till the end, because just a few words might change your perspective, or even your life. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who needs a little strength today. Let's get started. Lesson number 1. We're all in this together. Have you ever felt like you're facing the hardest moments of life all alone? Like no one understands your pain? That sense of isolation can feel heavy, often pushing us toward giving up. But Stoic philosophy reminds us of an important truth. You are not alone. The Stoics believe that the world is one big family, and we are all a part of it. To be human means to struggle, to fail, to feel pain, and to rise again. The journey you are on is not yours alone, many others have walked the same path and are still walking it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive, brings no benefit to the bee." In other words, we are all connected. We are not separate from each other. Stoicism teaches us that every experience we go through, be it pain, failure, or fear, is not just yours. It is the shared experience of humanity. What you are feeling, someone has felt before, and someone will feel after. Even the most successful people have faced setbacks, fatigue, and moments of doubt. But they got back up, because they understood that suffering and struggle are part of the human experience. So, when you feel like, I am fighting this battle alone, stop for a moment, close your eyes, and remember, there are many out there just like you, fighting, striving, and seeking the strength to rise again. You are not alone. We are all in this together. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of compassion, of understanding and supporting one another. Because humanity's greatest strength lies in its connections, and it is from these connections that courage, empathy, and collective strength arise. You are human. And to struggle means you are alive. Lesson number 2. Hard times don't last, this too shall pass. Have you ever gone through a time when everything felt like it had come to a halt? When the pain, the pressure, and the burden of life felt too heavy to carry? In those moments, a single question keeps echoing in our minds. Will this ever get better? Stoic philosophy gives us a timeless and comforting answer. Yes, it will. All pain is temporary. Hard times don't last forever. This too shall pass. Stoicism teaches us that life flows like a river, constantly moving, never still. Every moment comes and goes. Just as joy doesn't last forever, neither does suffering. As Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Time is like a river of passing events, and strong is the current, no sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by and another takes its place." In other words, no matter how overwhelming the present may feel, it will eventually pass and become part of your past. What you see now as impossible, the future version of you will look back on and say, I made it through. What you need right now is patience, resilience, and belief in yourself. Remember, you've survived before, and you will survive again. This Stoic truth isn't just comforting, it's empowering. It has helped countless people throughout history endure their darkest moments. So don't stop here. No matter how deep the pain runs, it won't last forever. Your inner strength, your potential, your purpose, they are far greater than this temporary struggle. This too shall pass. Lesson number 3. The obstacle is the way, turning struggles into strength. When we face a major challenge in life, our first instinct is often to step back, avoid it, or even give up. But the Stoics saw things differently. They believed that obstacles are not roadblocks, but roadmaps to growth. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what blocks your path is your path. Stoicism teaches us a powerful mindset shift. Obstacles are not the end, they're often the beginning. The hardships, failures, and setbacks you're facing right now aren't just random misfortunes. They are opportunities, hidden tests designed to awaken your untapped strength and potential. Think about it, if you had never failed, would you have learned as much? If life had always been easy, would you have become as resilient, as wise, or as grounded as you are now? The Stoics believed that challenges come not to stop us, but to shape us. Each difficulty is a doorway, if we choose to face it head-on rather than run from it. So the next time you find yourself standing in front of a problem, ask yourself, will I stop here? Or will I turn this obstacle into my power? Because the truth is this. The obstacle isn't in your way. The obstacle is the way. Lesson number 4. Use reason over emotion, don't let feelings make the decision. In the hardest moments of life, we often find ourselves drowning in emotion. Whether it's the weight of failure, the sting of disappointment, or the exhaustion from trying too long without result, there comes a point when we feel like giving up. But the Stoic philosophers remind us, when the mind is most clouded by emotion, that's when we need to return to reason. Stoicism doesn't ask us to reject our emotions, it teaches us to understand them, control them, and never let them dictate our choices. If emotion drives your direction, you may lose yourself. But if reason guides your steps, you will remain steady, even in the storm. The Stoic thinker Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." So often, we are not truly crushed by the reality of our situation, we are overwhelmed by our perception of it. Fear, anxiety, and sadness build castles of failure in our minds before anything has even happened. That's why Stoicism urges us, pause. Reflect. Ask yourself, is this fear real, or just a reaction? Am I about to quit because of actual failure, or because I'm afraid of it? Self-control is a cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. And true strength is not about feeling nothing, it's about recognizing what you feel, and still choosing the right path. The more you learn to slow down and apply reason over raw emotion, the more resilient and grounded you become. So before you give up, ask yourself, is this a decision made through calm reasoning, or am I just reacting emotionally? Fear will come. Doubt will creep in. That's human. But if you can pause, breathe, and let your reason speak louder than your emotions, you will not fall. You will rise. Lesson number 5. Stick to your virtue, stand firm in your moral character. There are many moments in life when it feels like you're lost or that you've lost your way. When facing the toughest situations, the question arises, how will you move forward? How will you decide? But Stoic philosophy teaches us that no matter how difficult the situation, if you stand firm in your moral character, you will never be defeated. True defeat happens when we stray from our moral character. If you remain steadfast in your integrity, justice, and courage, you will never lose, because your true strength lies in your moral character. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." In other words, the value of your life is determined by your purpose and principles. In tough moments, if you can stay on the right path, if your faith in your moral values remains strong, you will never be defeated. You might lose a battle, but you can never lose your self-respect or your moral character. Stoicism teaches us that our greatest strength lies in our character, our ethics, and our self-belief. When your internal moral compass is steady, no matter how difficult the circumstances, you can face them with peace and strength. So, when times get tough, stick to your virtue. This is your true power. When the world may misunderstand you, you will know that you are on the right path. Lesson number 6. Dichotomy of control: recognize what is and isn't in our control. Life is a strange journey, where we often try to control various situations or hold ourselves responsible for their outcomes. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control everything. We can't control what happens in life or how others behave. However, there is one thing we can always control: our reactions. The Stoic philosophers believe that we must understand the dichotomy of control. There are things beyond our control, like the behavior of others or the circumstances we face. But what we can control is how we respond, our thoughts, and our actions. Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." In other words, we cannot choose our external conditions, but we can always choose how we respond to them. When we consciously decide how to respond, we can maintain peace and strength, even if the circumstances are not in our favor. The core lesson of Stoicism is, don't fret over what's beyond your control, but instead control how you respond to it. This way, even when you cannot change the situation, you can still protect your inner peace and strength because you know that the only thing you control is your own response. Lesson number 7. Memento mori, remember death. Life is fleeting, and death is inevitable. The reminder of death is not something to fear, but rather something that reminds us of the transience of life and encourages us to live fully and with purpose. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca often meditated on death, not to live in fear of it, but to remind themselves of life's brevity and the importance of living in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This reflects the Stoic view that being aware of death gives us a sense of urgency to live intentionally and purposefully. When we consider death, we realize how often we waste time on trivial things, but the awareness of our mortality encourages us to focus on what truly matters. Stoic philosophy teaches that thinking about death is not something to fear, but rather something that enhances our understanding of life. Seneca wrote in his letters, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The thought of death motivates us to seek our true purpose in life and to be more attentive to how we use our time. When we face the reality of death, it compels us to act with focus and urgency. Memento mori reminds us that time is limited, so we should not waste it on trivial matters but rather live consciously and meaningfully in the present. Death teaches us that the time is now. The future is never certain, so we should aim to do our best in the present. The reminder of death shows us that it's not the end, but a natural part of life that guides us to live with purpose and meaning. Remember death. Let this knowledge influence your actions, thoughts, and decisions. When you live in awareness of death, you will prioritize what truly matters and live with a sense of clarity, purpose, and urgency. In the end, Memento Mori teaches us that our perspective on life and our approach to our actions should come with a sense of urgency, not out of fear, but with an understanding of the preciousness of time and a commitment to living fully. Final thought. Stoic philosophy helps us navigate those moments in life when everything seems dark and uncertain. These 7 Stoic lessons remind us that life is never easy, but it is our reactions, perspectives, and decisions that shape our destiny. We cannot control everything, but we have control over our thoughts, reactions, and actions. Patience, reason, and steadfastness in our moral character give us the strength to overcome pain and adversity. No matter how hard life gets, we are never truly alone, everyone is with us in our struggle. So, when it feels like you can't go on anymore, these 7 Stoic lessons will open new paths and give you the courage and strength to rise again. Remember, as long as you stand firm in your moral character, you are never defeated. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, like, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments.